Well, each side in a naturally partisan crowd out there in Omaha, wishing to make the point to the rest of us in other parts of the country that their man did well, as the two candidates shake hands and make their way off into the night. That crowd, by the way, was supposed to be evenly divided, tickets given out to both campaigns, with some given to local officials in Omaha. Senator Quayle and Senator Caucus now saying good night to the panel, while their aides rush down to what Jeff Greenfield, I believe, called a little earlier in the day the spin pit, so that they can take every opportunity to tell the assembled journalists downstairs exactly how well their man did. Jeff is now with us from Omaha. Jeff, we're going to have a full boat of analysis on Nightline about 30 minutes after the Mets-Dodgers playoff game tonight, but take a shot at early impressions.
Well, I think the fair thing to say, Peter, is that for most of this debate, if most of the attention was focused on Dan Quayle, he did a credible job in speaking to the country at large in their homes. These were clearly carefully prepared responses, and most of the time he performed well. The one question that I have is that almost certainly the biggest soundbite of the night is that exchange about John Kennedy. Clearly Lloyd Bentsen was ready for that. He had heard Dan Quayle compare himself to John Kennedy, and he hit him as hard a shot as he could. My own feeling is that that was the one time when Dan Quayle got a little rattled. Whether that overcomes the rest is something we're going to have to see played out in the next 24 to 48 hours. I also am curious, Peter, as to how that answer that Dan Quayle gave, that long build-up to the advice of his grandmother that you can be anything you want, whether that's going to be seen as a sincere, as he put it, heartland, Midwestern piece of advice, or something that really came a little close to the Nixon-Shecker speech. Peter?
Okay, Jeff, thanks very much. Senator Quayle and Senator Bentsen have had 90 minutes of our time this evening, and the questions we all have to ask in our homes and on our jobs, as Jeff says, in the next 24 hours are probably very simple ones. Did they answer the questions? Did you hear the specifics on the issues, or did you just hear the slogans? Was there something positive or negative in either man that surprised you? In presidential debates, we found that the final analysis, people didn't change their minds. And as Jeff says, that question about Kennedy was perhaps the most spontaneous evening in the moment. Which way did it cut, for Senator Bentsen or for Senator Quayle? There'll be a full analysis of this later on Nightline, as we said, 30 minutes after the playoff game. Thank you for joining us. I'm Peter Jennings. Good evening.